What's your take?
Yeah, like you guys pointed out, Saturday night or the afternoon, very long day on Rocky Top. There was nothing good about Saturday. It was brutal, rock bottom. I mean, anything you can say negative, it was awful. There's nothing good about Saturday.
Any adjective you can use.
Exactly. Coaching, players, it was all bad. I mean, let's just tell it like it is. The only thing that we can hope for that the players had a team meeting Sunday. Hopefully they got some stuff worked out. Hopefully the coaching staff come up with a better effort this week, and we'll see what they got prepared for BYU. Hopefully they'll show some pride and some heart. A lot of negativity around the program right now, so looking for them to try to bounce back Saturday night against BYU.
Guys, I was embarrassed. That was a pitiful performance. I thought I was personally watching the orange and white game. The way the players reacted, running off the field, running onto the field, just no energy on the team whatsoever. Nobody played with any enthusiasm. Brad, it just when you have that going on your team, it's hard to win.
Well, Jody, like you said, it almost seemed like they were treating it like a summer scrimmage. I mean, the players and coaches. There was no fire, no passion, none of it. And after the game was even worse. Coach Pruitt and the players just very stoic about it. And he tried to act like it was, it was a loss and no big deal, kind of thing. And he better wake up quickly. That's not going to fly around here.
That's not going to fly around here. And he even said the sun comes up tomorrow, which we all know that. But we've paid you millions of dollars to turn this program around. It's time to step up, and it's time to start producing. Now, if you want me to be on the Pruitt train, guys, we were 26-point favorites and we got beat. I expect him to turn the table when we're 26-point underdogs, still a win from somebody.
Well, here's something to think about, guys. Georgia State's head coach makes $200,000 less than our offensive line coach. I mean, what does that tell you right there? I mean, with our money and resources, that game should have never happened.
The most disappointing thing to me, The most disappointing thing to me, guys, was defensively. Georgia State came out and punched us right in the mouth, and we had no response.
We couldn't do anything about it.
I mean, they made us like it. I mean, they marched up and down the field all night long, and we couldn't do anything about it. It was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yards a pop. And then when they had third and long, they'd complete a pass to get it, to keep the drive going. And we had no answers, no adjustments all night long. So that's the most disappointing thing to me was how easily they moved the ball on our defense.
Well, to me, that's the most concerning too, because last year Georgia State was one of the worst teams in the country. They went 2-10 and got blown out in a bunch of games. So if they're running up and down the field, what do you think the SEC teams that we have to play are going to do?
Guys, one other stat I'd like to throw out there, Tennessee had 93 yards total rushing yards. Georgia State had 213. So, that hasn't happened a whole lot in the history of the program. That can't happen. And I believe we were negative 2 yards in the second half on 11 carries. So,
we had 95
you're right, Brad, what you said earlier about Jennings, about Trey Smith. They were the only two guys out there that played. I saw Trey Smith drive a guy in the dirt 4 or 5 times, and we ran the ball behind him, gaping holes. And in my opinion, those were the only two guys that played worth a dime.
Well, I have to give a couple of the freshmen some props. Eric Gray, man, he's like a Nintendo 64 player, just the spin button. He's making all kinds of moves, making people miss, and
he's going to be fun to watch.
And Henry Tua on defense. The first half I thought he was all over the field. He seemed like he got lost a little bit in the second half, but the first half he was everywhere. But those two guys I thought impressed. But outside of that, not much. What do you think of?
I agree, Brad, Jody. And one thing too, maybe that if you look at them defensively, UT was missing their senior leader, captain, linebacker Daniel Batuli was out with injury, and that may have played some factors getting some guys lined up. Looks like we were out of sync defensively on a few plays, so hopefully Batuli can get back this week and provide some stability on the defensive line. Linebacker, to get the defense set and see if that makes a difference this week.
Guys, good takes. We're going to have to see what happens. We're going to have to rebound because that left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. I I'm putting it all on Pruitt's shoulders this week. How the kids respond, it's his responsibility. Guys, you know how I am. I don't like the coach that gets up there and just talks football and with no emotion. It's time to slam your fist down on the desk and say, this is not going to ever happen again, and it better not happen again.
Well, guys, a lot of times players take on the personality of their coach, and I don't understand what's happened with Pruitt from year 1 to 2. Last year he was very fiery. He knocked over a chalkboard in the Florida game. This year he just seems very stoic and just like he's in a fog or a haze or something. I don't know what the difference is, but he better snap out of it quick.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what the problem is this year, but I guess we'll see Saturday night. It's a big week for Tennessee football. There's 2 ways to go. It's either going to go up or it's going to be over.
That's right.
They come out Saturday night, show a little fire, get a win, then maybe get the fans back on board a little bit. But if they come out and lay an egg Saturday night, I don't even know what to think what's going to be going the rest of the season.
Well, guys, what do you think the attendance will be for Chattanooga if we lay an egg this weekend and get beat? I mean, that might be the least attended game since they expanded the stadium back in the 70s.
And I'll tell you, that's the number one thing that the boosters and everybody that's highly invested in this team look at when you don't fill a stadium. And even in the Georgia State game, Brad, you and I were there, and there was a lot of empty seats.
A lot of empty seats.
And you start the season off 0-2, and you got Chattanooga coming to town, dude. You might not have 35,000 people show up, and then people they're going to start raising eyebrows and saying, "What's going on here?"
That's very possible.
No doubt about it. I mean, when you've got people, fans invested in the program, it's been a rough 2 decades. And when you come out and the last couple of games of last year, and then that's the first thing you see this year after what's going on, there's got to be some improvement.
Well, I think fans are sick and tired of being sick and tired, guys. We've went through 11 years now of just bad football, overall just bad football. And people are tired of it. And it don't mean we don't love the team and the university, but guys, when you watch a crap product for 11 years, it just gets old after a while.
Well, and I think some of these younger coaches in this day and time, in this era, they make the game too difficult. Go back to the basics, get your fundamentals down, take care of business, and go out there and smash somebody in their mouth. I mean, it's that simple. And find somebody, go up and down that bench until you find, 22 players that's going to give their all for Tennessee.
Exactly. I mean, we all want Tennessee to be successful. We're all big, huge Tennessee Vols fans. And so there's no question about it. But we also expect the coaching staff and, to put a better effort, especially first game of the season. It makes you think, what's going on? But like I said, we need Pruitt to be successful because another coaching change is not it's not what we need.
Well, it just sets you back another 3 or 4 years.
Exactly.
Guys, great take on the game last week. Let's put it to bed. My head's hurt ever since Saturday about thinking about it, and I can't take it anymore. So hopefully they'll turn it around Saturday night up there on the hill, and we get back on the winning track. Welcome back to After the Whistle. We're now going to do our pick segment for the UT game Saturday night. We host BYU on the hill, 7 p.m. We got our student athletes here again with us, and they're going to share their predictions with us. Braden Hardup, why don't you start us off?
Man, I've been a Tennessee fan for a while. I really haven't seen them be a great team, go to a big bowl game my whole lifetime. So I feel like that last week, I'm right now looking towards basketball season, but I feel like the score is going to be a solid 24-14 Tennessee, and I hope our Tennessee's defense steps it up.
Great pick. All right, let's get in here, Mr. Brady Luttrell.
Yeah, man, I know no matter what, Vol Nation's going to show up and support our team. I'll be there. A lot of us will be there. It's going to be loud. I still think that we're going to have our teams back, and we're going to come back and play a lot better than we did Saturday. So I'm going to say Tennessee 31, BYU 17.
Nice pick. Get in here, Will Meduski.
All right, like Braden said, November 5th, can't wait for it. Fulke's going to go out there and dominate. But my selection for the game, I'm going to say Tennessee scoring 24, BYU scoring 7.
24-7. All right, Big Trey. what's your take?
Yeah, hopefully, I think Tennessee just had the first game jitters. Hopefully they can get that out of the way, and I think Tennessee will still pull it off 28-21.
28-21. All right. Good pick. All right, Mr. Landon.
Tennessee's gonna come out mad. 42-7.
There you go, Wayne.
42-7. I like it.
like it.
Great pick. Guys, let's get back in here. Let's talk about it. Man, it's been a rough week. We kept scratching our head and holding our head in our hands last Saturday. Couldn't believe what we were seeing. Guys, do we rebound from the loss last week?
Well, Jody, I don't know why I'm predicting this, but I think we will. I've heard Jennings has taken on more of a leadership role this week, so I think he's going to jerk a knot in some guys. So I'm going to say Tennessee 31, BYU 24.
Huff, what do you say?
Yeah, I think Tennessee, as much as I've been critical of them, I'll always be a Vols fan. And like Brad said earlier, I think Jennings has been vocal this week, showing that he's a leader. Came out and said it's not going to happen. What happened is unacceptable. And I believe that he's going to get through to the team, and I think they're going to come out and make a statement Saturday night. I'm going to say Tennessee 27, BYU 10.
Good pick. And, Brad, I'm just going to let you know I bought you a new UT hat for the game Saturday night since I personally witnessed you slam your hat down about 4 times last Saturday for the game. But
Jody, you might need to buy me about 25 of them for this year if they keep playing like they did last Saturday.
Hey, I tell you what, you were feeling what I was feeling. But hopefully the guys have looked in the mirror and they've realized that last Saturday was totally unacceptable. If you don't have a heart and you don't bleed orange, we're going to find out this Saturday because it's time to show off and it's time to take care of business. I'm kind of like you, Brad. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I'm going to pick the Big Orange Saturday. I'm going to say 27-17. They get the victory, but they got a lot of work to do between now and the end of the season to keep me on this bandwagon. Guys, we appreciate the picks, and we'll be right back with our closing comments. Welcome back to After the Whistle. We're going to do our last segment now where we give out a couple of shout-outs. Guys, great show tonight, great insight. Hope our teams rebound from the previous week. It will do my heart some good if they can both come out with victories. Brady Luttrell would like to give a shout-out.
Yeah, man, just a lot of the same from last week. Just want to constantly reinforce that to Jackson Igo that we're all still here with him and nothing's changed. At the school, we've started wearing T-shirts, got some bracelets going around the school, just constantly showing him that we're with him no matter what he's going through because I know he's going through a lot more pain than any of us could imagine right now. So just want to keep pushing that we're with him and behind him.
Thank you, Brady. I appreciate that. We also like to give a shout-out to the Kingston High School JV football team. Big win a week or so ago against Farragut. That's definitely worth noting. So we'd like to give a shout-out to those football players on the high school JV team. And the last shout-out I'd like to give is to our listeners. We appreciate you listening. It's a little bit of a work in progress. I'm not very good at this, but we appreciate you listening. Share it, like it, friend me, whatever all that stuff is y'all do.
Get a Facebook account, Jody.
I'm not on Facebook, or FaceSpace, whatever it's called. I'm not on it. But we appreciate everybody listening, and we hope you'll continue. Until then, we'll see you next week on the radio.